Chod practice, and Tibetan language we call Chod. Chod means cutting or cutting off. And there's another term which is called Lu-jin. Lu-jin. Lu is the body, jin means giving the body. So the Chod practice is esoteric practice, part of Vajrayana practice. Actually, Chod is both sutra and tantra. Chod means, as I said, cutting. Cutting self-cherishing by practice of Bodhichitta. We are as a sentient beings. The root of our samsara is self-cherishing. So the way to cut the self-cherishing, we practice Bodhichitta. This is part of one of the main practice of Chod. Also, cutting off the self-grasping by practice of Shunyata meditation, emptiness meditation. This is also one of the main part of the practice of Chod. So on the sutra level, and so we call the method and wisdom two practice, two things, method and wisdom. Meditation on Bodhicitta is method, and meditation on Shunyata is wisdom. These two are the cause of enlightenment, cause of Buddhahood, cause of Sambhogakaya, and cause of Dharmakaya. The source of the Chod is Prajnaparamita Sutra and Heart Sutra. So the Buddha taught Prajnaparamita 100,000 verses, 20,000 verses, and 8,000 verses, and three different versions of Prajnaparamita Sutras. We have part of the Kanjur, and then the shortest Prajnaparamita Sutra is Heart Sutra, Sherab Nyingbo in Tibetan. It means essence of wisdom. So in the Heart Sutra, the Buddha said, or Heart Sutra states, form is emptiness, emptiness is also form. Likewise, feeling is emptiness, emptiness is also feeling. Perception is emptiness, emptiness is perception. Mental formation is emptiness, and emptiness is also mental formation. And consciousness is emptiness, emptiness is also consciousness. All five skandhas are emptiness. And so one has to realize they do not exist independently or inherently. and one has to actualize this. And the meditation on emptiness is one of the essence of Chod practice. But first, when we go through the Chod practice, we practice the method first and meditate on compassion and love and for all sentient beings. We also we practice renunciation, meditate on impermanence, meditate on death and dying. And for that reason, Chod practitioners, the yogis and yoginis, meditate in various places, charnel grounds and spooky places, and where you get eerie feeling, and you might you might have some feeling or sense there is maybe spirits, ghosts and demons, but that most of the time those are part of your own projection and your mental projection. And Machig Labdron said there is no ghost, spirit, evil spirits or demons outside other than your own mind. Your mind is creating one. So, but you meditate in these places, so you have to experience whatever the demon is, or your own demon, or inner demon, or spirit, whatever you have to experience, so that you can recognize your fear, your anxiety, and your mental defilements, and so then you and delusions, and then you know what you are going to cut, what are you cutting. Otherwise, you don't know what to cut, right? So this is why the Chod practitioners go to various places, wilderness and so on and so forth, do the Chod practice. And as I said, you have to practice compassion. So the tradition of the Chod practice and the tradition of meditating in charnel grounds and wilderness and forest and in the nature, meditate on the rivers, lakes, and springs where there might have a spirit of nagas. The tradition goes back all the way to the Buddha himself. Buddha himself practiced Chod when he was on the Bodhisattva path in his former lifetime. There's a Jataka tales, Jataka story. And one time Buddha was in mountains and he saw tigeries and the cubs, 5 cubs I think. They were hungry and starving. So the Buddha was the Bodhisattva at that time. He decided to give his body, practice generosity and lujin Chod, basically Chod practice. And he took off his clothes and he sat in front of the tigers and rolled himself in front of the tigers, and they wouldn't eat. They wouldn't even go near, because somehow they knew and they should do this. And who knows? And they might, somehow they knew. And the Buddha was, this is Bodhisattva. He was very precious. He is important for all sentient beings. And anyway, so he realized that they won't accept his offering. So they say this place is in Nepal, and there's a place called Namo Buddha outside Kathmandu. There's temples there. I was there when I was very young, way back in 1961. There was tiny little temple and some stone sculptures there, some carving of Bodhisattva and the tigers and the calves and so on, and a very powerful place. So anyway, they say it happened there. And so the lineage of the Chod goes back to the Buddha. According to Gelug tradition, we have 3 lineages. Some people say Gelugpas don't practice Chod, and they say Gelugpas don't practice Mahamudra, which is incorrect. And yes, we do. We have most profound Chod practice. So we have lineage, 3 lineages. The long lineage goes back to the Buddha himself. Then Buddha passed down the lineage to Maitreya Buddha, Aya Asanga, Vasubandhu, and so on. And also passed the lineage to Manjushri, Aryadeva, and so on. Then lineage passed down to Padma Sangye. He was the famous Chod master, and he came to Tibet. Padma Sangye lived in India around the 11th century, roughly, and then he gave the lineage to Machig Labdron. Machig Labdron lived for a long time. Padma Sangye also lived a long time. According to history, said that Padma Sangye is same person as Kamalashila, who came to Tibet, and King Tisung Detsen invited Kamalashila and Chinese Chan master. They did a debate in Tibet. And Samye is the very first monastery. It was established in Tibet. It was blessed by Guru Padmasambhava. Samye means unimaginable, beautiful, powerful place. And then Kamalashila went back to India and then later come back as a Padma Sangye. There's another story they say that Padma Sangye is a reincarnation of Kamalashila. So we don't know, I don't know, and whatever, doesn't matter. And they both are great masters. So Machig Labdron was the famous Chod master. She is the most important lineage holder of Chod. And Machig Labdron, she is the emanation of Tara, and she had a guru called Jotan Sonam Lama. Okay. And Sonam Lama suggests her she should disrobe. Machig Labdron was a young nun, disrobe, and then she should have a partner, and she did. And she had sons and daughters. They all become Chod lineage holders. Gyalwa Tundup, and so on. And then later Machig Labdron met Padma Sangye. And so this is the long lineage. And then we have short lineage, we call near lineage, and the Ganden air whisper lineage of Chod that comes from Manjushri to Lama Umapa Bawa Dorje, and then to Lama Tsongkhapa, and come down to today. We have unbroken lineage, and all the way down to Jabje Pavonga, Pavonga Deshe Nyingbo, the great one, and then Jabje Tujang Rinpoche, Jabje Song Rinpoche, and myself. Very first time I received Chod initiation from Jabje Song Rinpoche. It was my guru. And Ganden air whisper lineage Chod, I received commentaries. So this is one lineage. Second lineage. Then we have our third lineage. It's called Kando Nyinju in Tibetan word, which means Dakini air whisper lineage. And this lineage comes from Sukha city, an Indian Dakini. She was one of the 80 Mahasiddhas, I believe. And then around the 16th century, there was a great Lama called Choyin Rangdo, or he was known as also Chunyi Rangdo. So actually Chunyi and Choyin are the same thing, same word, same meaning, Choyin or Chunyi. So Choyin Rangdo was a disciple of Khonton Panjul Hundup. Khonton Panjul Hundup was one of the abbot of Seraje. Seraje is my monastery, and Khonton Baljul Hundup taught Suchin Choyin Rangdo. Choyin Rangdo was 5th Dalai Lama's guru, Choyin Rangdo. So Choyin Rangdo received initiations and visions from Sukha Siddhi. So we have Dakini Whisper Lineage and initiation. I received this initiation from my guru, 9th Khalkha Jetsun Damba Rinpoche, Jambal Namdrol Church Jalsen. And we did a 7-night church retreat. We received 8 different initiations. Dorje Chang initiation, Padamba Sangye initiation, Machig Labdron initiation, very special Machig Labdron initiation. Then we received Black Dakini initiation, Mahakala initiation, and Kingara couple, Lord of the Cremation Ground initiation, altogether 8 initiations. And during the 7-night church retreat, and that retreat is very intense because you're not allowed to sleep during the night. So during the day you receive all these initiations and preparations and teachings. So we did that, and then part of the commitment we have to do 108 spring retreat, and we did that, and myself and 3 of my students or friends, both, and we went to Mongolia in 2011. We did 108 spring retreat on the Helen River from July 1st until November 4th, and towards the end of the retreat, around end of October, it was very cold, -10 below zero. We sat meditate in a small yurt without heating, and that was very hard, but it was very powerful, very beautiful. So we moved every day for 108 times, and we stay one place in the beginning for 1 week. In the middle, we stay one place for one week. At the end, we stay one place for 1 week, and so 3 weeks, 21 days. So total of 129 days we did the practice. So that was very powerful. After our retreat, we went back to Ulaanbaatar, the capital of Mongolia. We saw His Holiness Khalkha Jetsun Damba Rinpoche, my guru, and he was quite frail. And we met him. We offered our retreat, and we said, we done our retreat here. We like to offer this retreat to you as our offering, Dharma offering. And he was very pleased, and he said he rejoiced. So that was very wonderful. I feel we are very fortunate. And in Tibet, and Chod practice was not so common. Usually wandering monks, nuns, yogis, yoginis that does the Chod. And also, of course, some higher lamas, Rinpoches and Yeshis, they practice Chod sort of quietly. And or some ordinary men or women practice Chod in their own homes, in the villages and towns, and various places. And Chod is also well known in the Kagyu tradition, Nyingma tradition, back in Tibet. And today, Chod Dharma teaching practice is flourishing. And in Mongolia, in the old days, before communist Soviet revolution, Chod practice was very popular. and also in some part of Russia, Buryatia, people practice a lot. And today now is coming back, more people practicing Chod. And so when we do Chod practice, we use ritual implements like a drum and a big drum, and we call Chodar, Tibetan word, Chodamaru. And we use trumpet, and this kind of trumpet, and this trumpet is a very old one. And so drumming is a very important part of the ritual. Drumming is, universal, I would say. You see, North American First Nations people do drumming, Siberian and Mongolian shamans do drumming, and of course in Africa, so many people do drumming, and indigenous, healers. They say that drumming makes you go into trance state faster, and drumming makes you connecting yourself with Dakinis, Dakas, and Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. Somehow drumming helps you to kind of elevating your mind, and also drumming helps you to focus your mind into the practice. And that's what I felt myself and my own experience. And drumming is also very beautiful, nice sound. And we use a trumpet as well. So the trumpet is a reminder of impermanence and death and dying. And so these implements only we use when we do the practice of Chod. We don't use it on a casual base, and it is not appropriate to blow the trumpet and drumming just like a regular musical instrument, not appropriate. So only use when you do the Chod practice. So, so this time I will do a little bit of drumming and chanting. Ma 소원데 용체무진제라 용체쉐진제 zendo마다 서카세데 젤라지 좀된 샤트냐 야마세다 아얀데와 젤라지 제전정금하여바토메다 켄저이니 젤라지 젤라지 라소안데 라마라소안데 마지라소안데 용체무진제라 담바산지소 나마라마다 마지라드 젤라지 자와이탄두카 부야레다 토녀라든 젤라지 그거면 죄생토와 산테다 자난 죄워 젤라지 젤라지 라소안데 라마라소안데 마지라소안데 용체무진제라 Chod enjoy seeing the line Chod practice is sutra and tantra both, and Chod practice is a very profound practice, and you have to be ready to do the Chod practice, and you should not do Chod practice with the idea of going into the wilderness and sing and do the drumming and kind of like entertainment, and things like that, and Chod practice is not something that you do for amusing yourself or some sort of fantasizing. So one has to be serious, and my advice is that before you do Chod practice, you should study and practice Lamrim. And Lamrim is a gradual path to enlightenment, and at least one should practice 3 principal paths, receive teachings on 3 principal paths, renunciation and Bodhichitta and Shunyata. Then when you feel like doing Chod practice, if you are not quite sure, you should get advice from your spiritual teacher or guru, and then if your guru advised that you are ready to do Chod practice, then I would say that's fine. And so Chod practice is not just cultivating Bodhichitta and Shunyata, but Chod practice is actually, the word Chod means you cutting samsara, cutting ego, cutting self-cherishing and self-grasping, and also transferring your consciousness from this body, from your heart, from your body into Vajrayogini Pure Land. or Buddha realm, or transferring your consciousness to the heart of Machig Labdron and to the heart of Prajna Paramita. So Chod practice is same as a Powa practice. Powa is a Tibetan word, means transferring consciousness. We have Powa practice. Lots of people do Powa. Amitabha Buddha Powa and Lama Tsongkhapa Powa and Chenrezig Powa, Vajrayogini Powa practice. And Chod is Powa practice. Machig Labdron actually said Chod is much more powerful than Powa practice. There is nothing like Chod. You cannot compare Chod and Powa. And Chod is much more advanced practice. So what you have to do, you're doing is you have to visualize your channel, central channel. At least you visualize central channel. Then and ejecting your consciousness through the channel, and then from the Brahma aperture from the crown into the heart of the Prajna Paramita. So it is tantric practice, and therefore one has to be ready. And so the entryway, or the way you start Chod practice, first you have to receive the initiation of 5 Dakinis and Machig Labdron initiation: Buddha Dakini, Vajra Dakini, Ratna Dakini, Padma Dakini, and Karma Dakini, 5 Dakinis. Tibetan word Sangye Khando, Dorje Khando, Rinchen Khando, Pema Khando, Leji Khando, and 5 Dakinis. And Machig Labdron herself is the Buddha Dakini. You have to receive. In the Gelug tradition, we have a Chod initiation called Namkha Gonje, Namkha Gonje, and you have to receive that from the Guru, and the 5 Dakini initiation. Then you can practice Chod, and then you have to receive a commentary on the sadhana, Chod sadhana. We have Ganden air whisper lineage Chod sadhana called offering the body as a chog, and so on. And also it would be good to receive initiation of Prajna Paramita as well as 5 Dakini initiation. Okay, thank you.